For almost 3 years since 2011, Egypt suffered from political upheavals and security challenges which took their toll on Egyptians and their lives. This pushed Egypt's leadership to make restoring security and stability its number one priority, after which came the battle of overdue reforms. Egyptians, especially youth, needed to secure a better and brighter future for the next generations. The journey of reforms has started, backed up by a clear vision, an elaborate ground plan and specific goals to bring on comprehensive and sustainable development, guided by the 2030 Agenda, aiming at enhancing living standards for all citizens, leaving no one behind, whilst optimizing the use of natural resources and ensuring sustainability. Thus, it became a necessity to work on all axes in parallel and with all stakeholders with full engagement of the private sector and civil society in order to leave no one behind and to mitigate the adverse effects of reforms, especially on the poor and vulnerable.
Egypt's strategy as a state towards development of Egypt, which has started a number of years ago, and is to continue. We have worked really closely with the government, both at the central level and with the decentralized governorates, according to our new constitution. Egypt has one of the best records in terms of following up on the Millennium Development Goals and now on the SDGs. And we're doing very well, especially on the role of women and the empowerment of women, behavioral change, such that society itself, communities accept that women have to play a much bigger role, not only at the level of the household, but also at work and in governance.
To achieve this target, the government of Egypt initiated a comprehensive social safety net package. Takaful and Karama programs have benefited thousands of Egyptian families that are less fortunate and contributed to boost their standards of living, as well as empowering women and maximizing their role in managing the affairs of their families. The government of Egypt has been working for some time now on constructing an up-to-date database that would contribute to spotting the deprived social fragments in marginalized geographic areas in order to target social protection and prioritize public investments. The coverage of welfare and social protection programs has been extended to embrace the marginalized and slums residents. Thousands of residential units were built within the context of an ambitious plan to eliminate slum communities and replace them with fully developed residential areas so as to resettle marginalized families, rehabilitate them, and incorporate them into the society so that they would be able to join its productive workforce. All these efforts were exerted to realize one dream, the dream of rebuilding Egypt, with all the Egyptian society categories, especially those who are marginalized and vulnerable, elderly, women and children, and of course, those with special needs who are being targeted by a substantial amount of resources and care to attain their rights in education, job opportunities, and effortless accessibility to services. With its understanding to the importance of providing a proper infrastructure for development and investment, the government of Egypt started working on a group of national infrastructure projects that have mostly been finalized in a record time, such as the immense network of roads and bridges, water and sanitation projects, and renewable and clean energy projects, an example of which, the solar power stations in Aswan, which is considered to be the biggest solar energy project in the world, as well as the wind turbines generated power station in Jabal al-Zayt and Za'farana.
There are incentives and grants and programs that encourage the use of renewable energy. However, the most sustainable solution is to make sure that those technologies and those business models are capable of offering a competitive advantage on its own. The main advantage that Egypt has is that it has abundance of renewable resources. It's the question of how can we capitalize that and offer energy solutions that people can use in their businesses and in their households. This is, I think, one of the very attractive things about Egypt today, is that the private sector is playing that role and is complementing the regulatory changes that the government is currently doing to make sure that the investment in renewable energy is easier and more attractive. The feed-in tariff program was a very good initiative by the government. It attracted a lot of investment into renewable energy, offered prices that are very attractive to buy the energy produced from renewable energy. However, we're very aware that the main thing that we establish the proper business models that would allow normal businesses and normal households to have access to renewable energy in an economic way.
All these achievements were realized by joining forces to reach one goal: boosting the quality of life for all Egyptians to fully achieve the 2030 agenda.